Hey, Mark Meldrum, Meldrum's Monster Garage, and we're working on the 1959 Impala today, and we are going to do a disc brake conversion. So I'll try to get the lighting a little bit better down here, but I've got the car on a jack stand over here, and I've got a jack underneath there, so we're all safe, ready to go. We're going to pull off this brake assembly, which might be kind of tough, might take a little beating to get that off, but let's see how you do this. I mean, Mike bought the kit from Summit. I have no idea what it looks like right now, so we'll start unboxing things and see what we got. He said it's designed to work with the stock spindles, but we'll have to get this whole drum assembly off the car first. So here we go. So as I try to get this drum off of here, it's being stubborn, and there's a little bit of a lip here that I've tried to clean up a little bit. But one thing I noticed around here was this spring. It's the spring wrapped all the way around there. So I was kind of curious, why is there a spring? See, it's held together there, and there's actually a groove in the drum that it sets in. Apparently this was for vibration dampening when braking. So who knew they used to put springs around the drum brakes assemblies? Okay, just another note on working on these old cars, old Chevys. You know, you get a hammer, and you're going to hit this from behind. But if that doesn't work, you go and get a bigger hammer, a heavier hammer, and as you can see, we're almost off now. So there we go. Steam brake cap features that you don't see on modern cars is that grease swirler in there. So you see that little brass piece in there. I've taken a lot of cars apart in the 60s and late 50s, and sometimes you see these and sometimes you don't. They kind of tend to get thrown away, but they're supposed to swirl the grease around the locking nut here. Of course, I've taken the cotter pin off, and now we got to work on getting the rest of the brake assembly off. It looks like they've got new shoes on here, so somebody was working on this recently. All right, so now we've got most of the brake shoe assembly stripped off. You got the brake shoes and all the springs sitting over there. You guys know how to do drum brakes. I'm not going to get into that. And then we got the cylinder pulled off of here. Okay, and then we're going to pull off the hub right here. And then hopefully we can get to this backing. All right, and then we'll have it stripped down so we can start building it back up. All right, so like I said, all you gotta do is you're gonna take this top nut off, which is a spring retainer too. So we got that off, and then these two bolts here have nuts on the back, so you have to put a backup on there. Take that off, and then you got the backing plate off. Okay, so now we're stripped down to the spindle, and just wipe that off, clean it up, and we'll get ready to build this back up. All right, so here's basically all the disc brake conversion parts you're going to need for a 55 to 64 full-size Chevy. And yeah, this is a full-size Chevy. It's humongous. So it's a very, very generic instruction sheet, and I'm already confused a little bit because I was reading in the instructions it doesn't matter what side is what, and I would think there's a left and a right, especially since this bracket here has weldment A and that bracket is weldment B, and then on your disc brake, this one's BC 12N and the other side is BC 13N. And I think the backing plates are A and B. So I'm going to have to figure that out. Of course, we've got the new hoses here. We've got new bearings, and we've got all the hardware. So I'm going to do a little more research before I start putting parts on here and try to get this figured out. I know we've got the spacer that goes on first. We've got the mounting bracket that goes on first. Got a couple spacers to work in behind the bracketry over here. And yeah, we're gonna figure this out. One thing I decided to do, this is gonna get a backing plate on here, okay? And the backing plate's gonna mount on here. But so I can show you this, I'm gonna do it without the backing plate on here, first off. Okay, so you've got the adapter that's gonna hold the disc brake assembly on, okay? Big hole on the top, small hole on the bottom. You got 2 threaded holes here. You got a little spacer that's going to go on first here, and then you got a fine thread bolt on the top. Make sure you run that in and out. Make sure that's clean, and then you're going to put a little dab of Loctite. I put this blue Loctite on here, okay, and I like to use this lipstick stuff because you can just smear it on there. Works very nice. All right. So first thing you're going to do is go through here, through the top here, and you're going to put it in there. All right. So I've got that started, okay. And then on the other side, you got a small spacer. Use the longer bolt to make up for the adapter here on this side. So I'm going to start pushing the bolt through on the left side, put the spacer behind it, and then pick up your steering arm and push that through. Now it's gonna take a little persuasion. All right, so we got that side through, and then that's the longer bolt. And we've got the a shorter bolt. It's going to go through this side, okay, and you're going through the adapter plate. All right, and then you're going to go through the steering rod in the back. All right, all went through nicely. All right, got a washer, and you got these locking nuts. So I'm going to put that behind here, and make sure your locking portion is on the back side. And we're going to put that on. And I'm just hand tightening this right now, just to kind of show you how it goes. All right, now we're getting ready to put on the rotor. And one thing I noticed, so make sure you take care of this when you take the old spindle off. I was putting a little more grease on here, and I noticed that there was still part of the bearing there. So that's part of the old ball bearings, and of course you got roller bearings on that. So I went ahead and cleaned that off, and I'll put a little more grease back here. All right, and of course I've got my bearings all pre-lubed, and we're going to put this up on here, and then of course we got pre-packed bearing. Well, I pre-packed them with grease, so we're going to put that in there. All right, do a little turn, make sure we're okay. Of course, we're going to clean all this stuff off here. I'm getting kind of greasy, and I got to pull and get some different gloves here. I've been staying pretty clean most of the day. You know, I was talking to Will. Will's a cement guy, asphalt guy, and he's telling me he goes home clean every day because he knows how to work. He knows how to spread the asphalt and the concrete, and he knows how to work and stay clean at the same time. And I guess if you're a professional, you try to keep your hands clean while you're working on this stuff. And I was just so impressed when I was talking to Will the other day. So, hi, Will. It's always fun when you stop out here. You're very encouraging to all the work out here, so thank you. All right, so got the washer on here, and it's got a slot there, so you can push that on. All right, and then you got your spindle nut, and you're going to torque. You're going to put that on, and I'm going to tighten it up while I rotate here. And once I'm happy that that's got a nice set in there and loaded and can still freely spin, And then we'll go ahead and put a cotter key through there, through the adjoining hole. So, hey, another shout out, new fan here is Frankie. Frank, it's always nice seeing you come out here. Frank's been helping out on this car too. He's trying to get involved with a little polishing on the stainless steel. So I would call this a pre-polish to see if we're going to send the part out to the polisher for professional polishing. But we're trying to get the grime and the dirt out and figure out what we have, and Frank's been helping out with that. And Frank did some welding on the LS6 exhaust. He's a good welder, and appreciate your help out here in Meldrum's Monster Garage. So, all right, let me get some wrenches and tighten this up here. All right, putting everything back together is, of course, a little bit more of a challenge, and I suggest you pre-fit this in here to make sure that it's going to go in okay, and clean it out best you can. All right, and we're going to put a little dab of blue lipstick Loctite on here, so I'll put a little dab on there. And really, we're going to tighten the hell out of this. So, and it's going to get torqued down. But let's see here. Let's go through the assembly, and of course, there we go. This gets kind of tricky because you got to do several things at the same time. So you got this bolt that's got to start through here. You got a spacer that's got to go in there, and then you also have the adapter. Okay, so I believe what we're going to do is we're going to put this in. Okay, and we're going to get the spacer. Let me see how this goes again. Yeah, that's the way it goes. So we got this, and then we got the spacer, and I believe that's all correct. And of course, this is going to line up. Yeah, that's going to line up down here with the bottom hole. I don't know if you can see that. So this is all going to go on here, and you need if I had an extra hand, it would be handy. But I don't. It's all my own here. So this gets kind of challenging to start. And it's a fine thread, so you always worry about stripping these fine threads. Do it now. So you got the long bolt, and it's going to go on here, and then you're going to go through the spacer. Okay, so got the little spacer here. It's going to go on the front side, or think of it as the opposite side of this. And then you got your steering you're going to go through. Okay. So a little persuasion there. A little hammer here. Kind of drive it in a little bit more. All right. And on this side, you're going to do your short bolt. Make sure it goes through. Everything okay. You got the adapter plate, and then you got your steering. It's got to go through. You know, you don't have a great camera angle on this, but all right. So you got that, and then on the back side, you got these locking washers or locking nuts, and they have little indentations on one side. So you're going to put your washer back there. And none on there. All right. And you got the other washer to go on the back side there. And that's not all the way through yet. Don't hit this lip right here. You don't want to do that. You don't want to ding that up. Oh. And Hey, once again, Melvin's Monster Garage. Hey, I'm not responsible for your mistakes because I made quite a few myself. We've got our disc brake assembly, and I've got the bearing already in there and the seal already pressed on. So you're just gonna slide this new hub on with the brake assembly. Try to get it on there good so you don't damage the seal. Push it on there straight. People have been coming in and out, building the barn across the street. I'll take you out and show you that barn this afternoon when I leave. So, all right, I'm gonna do a little bit more work here, so I'll pause here. I'm gonna make sure this is okay and keep spinning this. Don't want to get it too tight to where it's locked up, and make sure I still can get the pin through there. So give me a while to tinker with that. Last thing you're gonna have to do is put the disc brake assembly on. Of course, it's got a little shipping cardboard in there, and this has got Allen bolts on the bolt back there. So you need to take that loose. These two bolts loose. And of course, I went ahead and tightened this up already. The banjo bolt, Larry likes that, banjo bolt, and got a couple copper washers in there, one for the bolt and then one against the disc brake assembly and the hose assembly. So I'm going to take out the packing and we're going to slide this on here. And of course, when you do this, you want remember, you know you got it on backwards if your bleeder screw is on the bottom. So you want the bleeder screw on the top so that when you bleed these brakes out, you know, all the air is going to move towards the top. So we're going to slide this on here. And you probably want to lube this up too. I'm not lubing it up right now, but you want to probably lube it up so it slides easy. I'm going to worry about that later. Tighten that up as soon as I can find the wrench. All right, then you're going to put the C-clip in there and drive that in there. Okay, so that's holding the hose assembly in there, and then you got the 3/8 line wrench that you're going to put on there, and you know, you're going to do a few ugga-duggas on there, so you got that nice and tight. All right, so there you go. We got both assemblies on now. Now we're gonna move on to the brake booster, which is inside the engine compartment. So here we go.